It's been a long time coming, and I know change gonna come. Good news for the sheep might be bad news for the wolf. Rumble, young man, rumble. I'm still pretty. Welcome everybody, I'm RJ of The Nerdy Brew, and here on this channel we talk TV, movies, and everything in between, all while drinking a cup of coffee. Now if you like one of those things or all of those things, why don't you consider subscribing, and hit that notification bell, and becoming a fellow Brewster. So today, fellow Brewsters, we are reviewing One Night in Miami, starring Kingsley Ben-Adir, Eli Goree, Aldis Hodge, Leslie Odom Jr., directed by Regina King. So the premise of the movie is 1964 February in Miami, where Muhammad Ali, back at that time before his conversion to Islam, was known as Cassius Clay, and it was his triumphant and iconic win against Sonny Liston, and he was the underdog, so it made it even more of a victory. So with that being said, during the height of Jim Crow, they of Muhammad Ali was not able to celebrate in the mainland of Miami in Florida, so they had to go to a black neighborhood where they were able to celebrate, and he gathered together Muhammad Ali. Jim Brown, one of the greatest running backs, ended up becoming a commentator, but he asked him to come, and Sam Cooke was there, and they were under the guise of believing that it was going to be a celebration of the fight and they were about to party hard at this hotel. Comes to find out, it was Muhammad Ali, or not Muhammad Ali, excuse me, Malcolm X, who was like, this is actually, y'all this closest people, this is actually a meeting of conversion, so we're just here to get your blessing and hear part of the ceremony as he transitions over to becoming part of the Nation of Islam. So they're like, wait a minute, pump your brakes, hold up. We was actually here to party because that's what we know how to do. And Malcolm X is like, nah, it's gotta be bigger than that. We are influential individuals, and I gathered you here. One, this is a reason of faith, and two, we need to talk about how can we improve ourselves as a people and as a culture. And they have these conversations about these four different walks of life and how they have four different fights amongst the dominant race and the dominant culture in America at that time. And it's very different perspectives coming to a head with one another on how do we have this fight in a productive way. And then there's also conversations amidst these men about certain aspects of faith, individuality, collective consciousness, and progressiveness as a people. But they also get in touch of their blessings, their attributes, how they are dynamic enough to contribute and be impactful individuals by themselves. And it's a wide variation of so many things that they have to contend with, of revelations and questions that have to be discussed, that they were diverting up until that moment. And it's a very unique look, especially at Malcolm X, because we have seen Malcolm X being very overt, and we also have seen his lifespan in a certain sense in the movie Malcolm X with Spike Lee. But this is more geared to a moment and geared to his anxieties and his last days, and why he is so focused on making a different impact than what he was doing prior, along with the Nation of Islam. So that is a unique perspective. It's also dealing with Muhammad Ali, or Cassius Clay at the time, as him being youthful, and his thoughts about religion, and also routines, habits, dogma. How does that stem for him being famous? How does that work with him being worldly, in the sense of like he still has these possessions that he's still attached to, and there's still a very strict rules that they have to adhere to. So he doesn't know if he's able to transition in a way that he's still a young man. But we all know how that turned out to be, especially in real life events. And the movie is based off of a play of the same name by Kemp Powers. And the movie is also based off of a real event that all these men were actually in one room. But what was the conversation had? Because it was actually a private moment. So Kemp Woods was able to contextualize and articulate a movie of being a fly on the wall and observing how do these dynamic heroes in the black community have a powerful conversation amongst one another. And also Regina King, she is yes queen, yes. Like, you killed it when it came to your directorial debut. And she's killing it. She killed it in Watchmen. She killed it in Bill Street, where she was able to win an Oscar. And in the words of Uncle Iroh, and I might be misquoting, but staying to your dreams, you'll be able to reap the rewards. And that's why I always say you have to do you and be you and see the bigger picture, because she has been in the game for 30 years and now she's able to leave her stamp, where her first outing was definitely like the Illmatic. Her first outing was definitely like Lauryn Hill, the Miseducation. Like, yo, just a mic drop, like, boom, I'm here, what y'all want to do about it? Like, she killed it. The setting, the lighting, the camera work, the performances that she was able to get out of these gentlemen, well put together. It was very well put together. Also, I'm just trying to wrap this up because I really like the movie and I'm not trying to take too much of your time because y'all came here to see moi. But another thing that made me enjoy this movie, with their 4 different walks of life, they have 4 different perspectives. And Muhammad Ali, or Cassius Clay, is still trying to figure things out in his fight and moving forward. And the thing is, we know how outspoken he was on black issues and social issues. So we know how that turned out to be. But he was still dealing with that dilemma with himself of how he'll be able to project that in a way and also convert to a religion, because he was able to have these conversations of like, I still like liquor and pork. You know, because some people do have their attachments of they like what they like me. I don't think I'm about to give up coffee anytime soon. Excuse me, we're here, we doing this. So then, my favorite character within the movie was Jim Brown. And I know Jim Brown was a real man. And I just want to tell y'all something real quick about my experience with Jim Brown. I knew Jim Brown as an actor before I got my mind to know about sports, before I knew that he was one of the greatest running backs in our nation's history. So I just saw him as this big dude who was in movies, and I just thought he was a mediocre actor, but I was always happy to see him. But him and his perspective of this movie, he was more of, he was actually our person who was viewing this. And the one thing that he was able to say is the biggest thing for black people to have a stand, asides being overt marching and fighting, we have to have economic literacy. We have to have economic power. And that was, and if you look at real life Jim Brown, he has always said that. He's always projected that, and they were able to put that in there. But there were just so many things like, look, I'm about to do a movie and I'm about to make some money off of this movie, and that's what it is, because they all know their place as being second-class citizens. Sam Cooke wants to perform in white areas or in the white dominant sound of pop music, and Muhammad Ali questions him and like, you could be doing more. How can you really affect our people in a massive way if you're trying to stay one way? But he's like, it's not the same fight. You can't just be on there on the TV yelling and marching and calling these people the devil, because it's not about unification. Like, you have to be able to get us to a better place of healing. And he's like, you know what I do? I buy things in the background so that my artist will be able to have money from what we're trying to overcome. So that's his fight. But the thing is, what they do recognize is that at the end of the day, if you're not seen as equal, you are still what you are. And I really don't try to make things racial here. Like, I'm really trying to be about the story. But at the end of the day, and how the beginning of the movie shows who these men are and the circumstances that they're in, at that time, that they were still black men in America. Period. They were very influential and they were very impactful. But at the end of the day, they were not able to even celebrate something big of their culture and their community in the country that they live in. So they had to wrestle with that fact and understand that everything that they doing, it may be a different fight, but it is the same fight for progress to tomorrow, a better day. So those are my thoughts about One Night in Miami. I love the movie very much. I touched on the directing. Regina King killed it. The performances were outstanding. I love this movie very much. I love the message of the movie very much. In Miami, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let your voices be heard in the comments below. Hit that like button so that we be able to get the channel into the algorithm so we can bring more people to the channel. Let me know your thoughts about the movie. I enjoyed it. I give this movie a solid 8.8 out of 10. And we're going to bring this video to an end. And I want you to be you, do you, see the bigger picture. Have a fantastic day because you deserve it. This is that channel. Peace.